Morning, radiant cells. Beautiful beings. Oh, look at Momo. I got to get a picture of that. She's all lit up. Momo, don't elevate out of here. Stay with us, okay? Thank you. Appreciate that. Take a couple of deep breaths. Sip a little coffee. Find ourselves. Is this microphone working? Everybody's cutting in and out.
I don't hear it through the mic. I hear your voice, but not through the mic.
Yeah. Are we having issues? Testing, testing.
Is it turned on?
Yeah, it was before.
Speak a little bit louder.
A little bit louder. A little bit louder.
There we go. Now it's on.
Well, we don't need electronics. We have the spirit guided power. So for the next 20 minutes, or less, we shall be sitting in the silence in the presence. Yeah. Thanks. All right, let's ignore that. No. The Keystone Cops have arrived. Resting in this moment, in this beautiful moment. Touching in with that essence of yourself that says yes to life. From the toes to the nose, I say yes to life. Every part of me alive, aware, awake, present. Being present and letting be. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Simply being present and letting be. The seat in the chair, the feet on the ground, the sense of the air on the skin, resting in the present moment awareness and letting be. of the thoughts that arise, engage, entertain, disturb. Thoughts are many. But hold them like you would clouds in the sky, arising, occupying, dissolving. Being present, then letting be. or caught up in a thought or a sensation, gently acknowledge the moment of an awakening to that awareness. And bring the awareness back to present moment awareness. Being present and letting be. Moment will complete our time of meditation. So take this opportunity to experience gratefulness for the time you spent here today. For the goodness that has arisen that brought you here. Let's dedicate the merit that has arisen from our time sitting together to the happiness, the end of suffering, the well-being of all beings everywhere. May this being, may all beings, past, present, and future, know happiness and the causes of happiness. it be so. Thank you.
Jeremy Lieber on the piano. Yeah, we can give him some love. Good morning, everyone. My name is Carolyn Gauthier. I'm on the staff here. I'm the music director. And I am welcoming all of you today on behalf of our senior minister, Reverend Deanne Morency. She's taking some much-needed Sunday time off for herself. And next week, too. And so we're fortunate enough to have some wonderful people in our community who've stepped up to give the talk. And today it's going to be Pamella Cavanna. We're excited about that. And this has been a rough week, right? Yeah. We lost our beloved John Slater, who was our gardener, and this week I also lost my brother. And so I'm holding him close in my heart today. And people ask me, what are you doing to take care of yourself? Well, I'm taking walks in nature, and I'm visiting with friends, seeing a lot of friends. And Friday night I came here, serendipitously, there was a workshop on grief. So things work together to when you need the support. This community has been incredible. And for those of you who may be here for the first time or watching us online, this is a community that really walks its talk in terms of really trying to do our darndest to live our values. And our values include authenticity, just being who we are. If we present ourselves in different ways at different times, we accept that. And inclusivity, which is not just accepting each other as we are, but embracing. And then connectivity, which is what we do here on Sundays and during the week, and during our meditation time, we connect with each other. So that's what you can expect from Unity in Marin if you're checking us out. And for those of you who are here doing that, thank you. I'm grateful for all of you. So we always begin our service with prayer. And I would like to invite Claire up with the prayer box. And would all the prayer chaplains please stand? And as we go into this time, they're going to encircle everyone. And those of you who feel like you are part of the prayer practice, please also stand. And Elizabeth Drew is going to come forward. She's co-chair of our prayer chaplains, and she's going to do the opening prayer this morning. Thank you.
So together, I invite you to go to that quiet place within, deep within, connecting with Divine Spirit, the Spirit that you are, the Divine Spirit that you are, that we all are as we feel this depth and this connection. As we open to the divine guidance that is always present. And we give gratitude for each one of you who are here, for all who are live streaming. And we're holding in prayer our beloved Cindy Acker, who is in Selma, celebrating with all those who are there for the 60th anniversary, walking across the bridge. And as you open your hearts, please bring forth anyone that you feel is calling forth for prayer. It could be you. It could be the person sitting next to you. It could be family. It could be the world, the country, the animals, the plants. And we give gratitude for each and every one of you, for our beloved Reverend Deanne, and for Chris as they take this time to renew. May you feel the renewal that comes from quiet time in prayer and meditation. And so it is. Amen.
like to invite Gabriela Javier to do our sacred reading today. We do them on occasion when we have special times, and this is the time of Lent. So she's going to be reading from the Lenten booklet that, if you want a copy, it's in the back of the chairs in front of you.
Testing 1, 2. Good morning. All right. Today's inspirational reading is from Unity's Lent booklet in the garden. It is free and available in the lobby or in the seat back pockets in front of you. I invite you at this time to let the words from In the Garden become part of your morning reflection, your morning meditation, or prayer. In this moment, I invite you to take a deep breath and to pause, to close your eyes if you wish, or if you want to follow along. It's on page 9, the reading for today. I invite you to let these words become your words. The affirmation for today is, on this day of Lent, I release discontent and affirm contentment is my way of being. Have you ever found yourself satisfied with a particular choice, only to later regret it? What once brought fulfillment now leaves you feeling drained. What brought joy becomes a burden. For spiritual beings on an evolutionary journey, discontent plays an integral role. It speaks through an ache in the pit of the stomach, a restless mind, or an unquenchable fatigue. While our spiritual nature yearns to search, seek, and expand, discontent is the voice of ego stifling that still, small voice within. Ego desires consistency, often resisting change. But change is the fuel of spiritual development. In our willingness to embrace change, we can remain content no matter the circumstances before us. Rather than allowing discontent to drain or stifle, see it as a signal for something exciting that is underway. Let discontent turn your attention inward, allowing that still, small voice to move you toward your next adventure. Once again, the affirmation for today is, on this day of Lent, I release discontent and affirm contentment is my way of being. Please know this with me. On this day of Lent, I release discontent and affirm contentment is my way of being.
The ultimate faux pas by the music directors, I forgot the opening song. So let's join together in the song now.
And me, the control freak, it's like, okay, just mind my own business. Don't say anything. This very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, sweet spirit, is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, sweet spirit, is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, sweet spirit, is in this very room.
Thank you. Good way to start the morning. Now, Gabe Paulson. Thanks.
Good morning, Unity. Good morning. It is such a beautiful day. I'm really so happy to be here. You can feel spring is right around the corner. I was up at 5 o'clock. I'm surprised in this very room we have so many people because most of them are still sleeping. And I just felt the cool spring air, and I feel like today's service is special too. We're really commencing Lent, and it seems like Gabrielle already forecast, the theme of releasing discontent, and then Momo and Carolyn already, foreshadowed that all the joy, love, and contentment is in this very room, and that's a journey we're on, walking through Lent and this period of rebirth, and really just seeing the miracle that spring reminds us of. So we have, as Gabrielle said, the Lent booklets. They're in front of you. They're also on the web. All of those watching online, by the way, welcome. And you can just download this, and it's a wonderful way to slowly, get yourself in this state of mind. And the other thing are these Lent reflections. We see the chaplains rise, and there are 15 or so of them. And it's a wonderful, you can imagine, I was a chaplain for about 8 years, and I think because I log everything, I did maybe 2,000 or 3,000 prayers with people. And you can imagine that experience, and you get that, distillation, that love, that groundedness from the chaplains in these videos. So I really encourage you to go on the web and hear, what they have to share. So it's a really a nice start, and we're on this journey together now. We are, and say every week, we're all part of the Welcome team, and that's an attitude as well as an organizational unit. And so we really share with each other, we give and take with each other. One little thing to point out is food. It's such a wonderful theme, and it's a good way to break bread together. And if you care to do the give and take, bring something, and healthy food is always appreciated, and then we get to eat it and share it. It's a way to really, after the service, continue the connection that we feel in the sanctuary. There are several ways to connect with Unity, and for those of you who might be new, those of you online, text is very easy. This slide shows the number. You ping it. I have that on my phone. It's not spam, maybe 1 or 2 a week, and it just highlights and reminds a little bit. We're also on social. There's all the different platforms there, like TikTok and Instagram and Threads and Blue Sky. And then lastly, especially for those of you who are here, they're the cards. So the spiritual connection cards. I often find that in this age of everything going virtual, it's nice to take a piece of paper and a pen and write something down. And often, if there's really something on your heart, like we mentioned, discontent, or it could be joy, it's good to get it out. It's a way of getting in touch with yourself, and then offering the card up. It's prayed over here and then held at Unity Village. And this is a nice way to feel support and to enter into that spiritual part of yourself where things are often unnamed. The next slide, we have events. This is just March. Look at how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And so we'll be talking about them a little bit more. Some of the slides we'll call out, some of the events. And then, of course, this is all on the web, so unitymarin.org. All the information's there, and some of these things like social and text, they will help remind you of really some wonderful happenings here. So we, each week, kind of get centered like a good Buddhist practice, feet on the ground, take a deep breath. For us, we like to say vision, mission, and core values. So if you would, let's say these together. So our vision is a world spiritually awakened and transformed through realizing our divine potential. Our mission, Unity in Marin, is a loving community dedicated to spiritual growth, inclusivity, and service. We honor and care for ourselves, each other, and the natural world. Our core values, connectivity, inclusivity, and authenticity. And just to highlight authenticity, why don't we read this again? The reading is just a good way to, get a little muscle memory here. So, being true to ourselves, our values, and spirit. We share our voice, gifts, and talents with vulnerability and humility. We value honesty and take responsibility for our choices. We nurture us by aligning our actions with our values. Thank you. And I'd just like to add that, I'm reading the paper every day, most of you probably, and I find these words we just read to be extremely timely and extremely powerful, and I hope you hold that, because life, history, there's so many waves, and we're riding one right now. So today's flower and hospitality sponsor is our very Carolyn Gauthier, and as she mentioned, Fred, her brother, we're really holding Fred in our heart, in our thoughts, and our love, and thank you for sharing, Carolyn. And if you want to do hospitality and flower sponsorship, we have our wonderful Charcel, the very quiet, hard to find Charcel. She's in the courtyard, so just, when you're done here, go ahead and sign up, and really, it's always a gift. I mean, speaking of spring, it's kind of right there, the miracle of flowers. And lastly, we have a sacred service spotlight today,
and today we want to honor our friend Tom Brown for all that he has done for Unity in Marin, for his years of service. Tom is an organizer. Tom organizes the welcome team. He leads the discussion group usually, or part of his team. He pulls people together and inspires us all to be our better selves. So thank you, Tom. So, yes, I have two different mics. This one's for talking into. And I'm going to do her first song now, which when Pamella told me what she was going to be talking about, she said, it's about being brave. And so this song is called If I Were Brave. What would I do today if I knew I could not fail? If I believed, would the wind always fill up my sail? How far would I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, there are miracles in you and me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? Maybe this is what I'd hear. I am brave enough to move ahead, where true believers dare to tread. I'll never give up, even when losing my way. What would I do today? I am brave. What will I do today? I am brave. What will I do today? I am brave. Sing with me. What will I do today? I am brave. 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 What will I do today? I am brave.
We all know what I'm doing today to be brave. So I was really been curious about how I would feel standing here. And so far, so good. So I just wanted to remind us all what, I think it was Charles Fillmore used to say Lent was, let's eliminate negative thinking. So that's a good way to translate that into daily life. In a Buddhist way, I'd like us to raise bodhicitta. That's what we call raising a good intention. So let's just hold a good thought for today, for me. Yay, thank you. So, I know, thank you. I know you all know me, but I'd like to introduce myself in a style that's favored at CIIS, California Institute of Integral Studies, where I'm currently a student in their Center for Psychedelic Training and Research. And please forgive me, I'm going to be reading this. I'm going to try to look up and smile. I'm a white cisgender female using the pronouns she, her, and we. I'm in my senior years and working to be aware of the advantages, responsibilities, and perils of that status. I was born in Akron, Ohio, in the county of Summit, on the traditional lands of the Lenape and Shawnee tribes. And I'm speaking to you today on the traditional lands of the Coast Miwok people. I'm the mother of 2 sons, Conroy and Matthew, and the grandmother of Dean, Calvin, Lucia, and Talise Cavanna. I practice a form of Tibetan Buddhism called Vajrayana, which is sometimes called deity yoga. I'm a member of the Native American Church with a lodge in Berkeley, where I engage in prayer and plant medicines. I was in a Gurdjieff community for 40 years, and this month I've been a member of Unity in Marin for 25 years. I want to thank Reverend Deanne. She's watching online, and hi there, all you online people, for calling my name. And I want to acknowledge her courage for bringing this topic into our awareness. I'm grateful to Tom McAuliffe, he's been my spiritual direction coach in shaping this narrative and its delivery. We had fun, we laughed and cried, and he's a true Dharma brother. And blessings and kudos to Carolyn Gautier for her creativity and musical talent, because she actually created a song for this talk, which you're going to hear later. And Gabe, my dear friend, for rearranging his schedule to be here today to support me. I've tried to structure this, and to you, my beloved community. For many people, that idea is a great concept, but for us, it's a reality. It's born of years of working, praying, laughing, crying, and eating together. So I'm so grateful. So I've tried to structure the narrative into 3 parts: my life before the financial loss, the process I went through to transform that loss, and my life now. But first, some context and influences per my spiritual directive coach. My childhood was stable and low trauma. In fact, there was a lot of fun. My parents were both single children, so they collaborated to have 6 of us. They both seemed to enjoy being parents, and during dinner we would tell jokes, trying to outdo each other. And during dishes each night, we would sing songs. And after sweeping the floor, my mom would teach us dances from her era, like the Charleston and the Black Bottom. And that's for you, Tom. He told me to shake my booty. So we taught each other how to jitterbug. They owned a sewing machine company that was under our home, so I always had access to at least one parent anytime my entire life. And I had a really cute picture of all of us when we were kids, but this is the 6 of us as adults, and now there's just 4 of us left. I'm now the matriarch of the family, but trust me, that means nothing. When my sister was the matriarch, we towed the line. So, let's see. After my maternal grandmother's death, they moved the family to Florida to take over her businesses, and I was in nursing school by that time. And after graduation, I worked at my home hospital before moving to California. And although I've always worked in allopathic medicine, I've always been troubled by the lack of curiosity in that system for how disease begins, or even accidents. So I've always concurrently studied yoga and meditation, Chinese meridians, energy medicine, sound healing, and food. as medicine. And I've been able to avoid taking any prescription meds except a rare antibiotic with these practices, and I've experienced no surgeries or major accidents. This is important because I developed high blood pressure after the loss, and I had to go on a prescription medicine, which I was grateful for because it did control it, but I seemed like a failure. So as a child, I had a longing to travel to faraway places with strange sounding names, singing this song while I did the laundry, bring your stationary tub, clothesline style. And this longing was satisfied by 3 years in the Peace Corps in Iran, and then a year in Dharamsala, India, where the Dalai Lama had established a monastery. And it was there that my love affair with Tibetan Buddhism began. I had Dharma teachings with great Geshe Rabten. They used to say he looked like a truck driver that was a Buddhist monk. And I had darshan with the Dalai Lama. And I learned Vipassana meditation with Goenka, who had just begun to teach Vipassana. And it was also where I became a mother with my Dharma partner and husband, Roger. So that was us. And then fast forward to the next 43 years. They were spent establishing a household and family, practicing nursing, helping my husband establish an Oriental rug business, having another son, and continued spiritual practices. Somewhat significantly, all these practices seem to tie together or have a through line in some way. The law of three, as it's known in the Gurdjieff work, holy affirming, holy denying, holy sustaining from Hinduism, the triple gem in Buddhism, the Dharma, the Sangha, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and the Trinity in Christianity, mind, idea, and expression, as it's related by unity. So this was some of the context of my life when I retired at age 71, 8 years after Roger's death. I sold our family home in Larkspur for 28 years and divided the proceeds into a traditional portfolio and real estate. For 6 years, I had an income that exceeded my needs, which was fun. And I was able to be generous with myself, my family, and unity in Marin. I traveled locally and abroad, including a pilgrimage to the Camino. That's me at the end. And I was able to support my grandson, Dean, who is a competitive golfer from age 7 to 16. And yearly, I rented a large house at Stinson Beach for the families of both of my kids to come together and be together. And since there were 1,099 slides of Stinson Beach, we just kind of thought that was a good one to use. So I was also able to pursue an art process called Zentangle, which I do to this day. And it gave me a lot of pleasure, and I often do these during my sessions with clients. Some people here have done that practice. So I was enjoying my life very much with friends, family, unity, and Marin activities. And then that all ended, this is part 2, in May of 2020. After 2 months after the COVID pandemic began, the principal of PFI died, and the Securities and Exchange Commission and FBI were called in, and all of our payments stopped. And so for me, that represented about half of my monthly income and sent me into a tailspin of disbelief, fear, and bewilderment. I worked the spiritual principles of unity as much as I could, using the mantra that was part of Bill Englehart's legacy. You know, why is this happening for me? Instead of why is this happening to me? And remember that through line of all my practices, and while this was a lofty spiritual principles, they did not come to my rescue. So I felt ashamed, I felt tricked by the system, mortified, and afraid for the future. I was embarrassed and dismayed that I had convinced a few of my friends and other people to invest. I mourned the loss of being financially stable and independent. I worried about becoming a burden to my family and for the loss of the financial ability to travel. In short, I was no longer enjoying my life. I knew I had a lot to be grateful for, but I was not feeling that. I was feeling loss and the probability of a shortened lifespan, and I thought of Rumi's poem, "This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and attend them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. They may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in." I wasn't making much progress on that front. And I was curious. The spiritual student in me was curious about how this would all turn out. What would the for me be? It was into this time space that my youngest son, Matthew, said, "Mom, I think you should try ketamine." Matthew's a therapist specializing in trauma. He's a pipe holder in the Lakota tradition and a medicine journey leader. I had no idea what ketamine was, but I trusted him. He set me up with headphones for music and an eye mask. I swished a somewhat distasteful lozenge for about 20 minutes and began experiencing the altered state that ensued. It was pleasant, gentle, and I remember saying, "I want to connect." And I love old people, which is really great since I am one. And the session was brief and it lasted less than an hour, but it was the shifts in my thinking, my reactions, that were the most compelling. I spontaneously started having meaningful, authentic conversations and connections with the Uber driver, or the woman at the checkout counter. This was new. I noticed that where I would have reacted to a comment or a situation in a snarky, critical, or negative way, I didn't. I felt more compassion and love. I discovered that love did not require an object. It was an action coming from the heart and could be felt and experienced, no matter if it was reciprocated or not. That was a very liberating experience. I could literally love my enemies. Remember that nothing had changed in the outer condition of my life. I did not magically have the lost money restored, but my life changed. I began enjoying it again. I began feeling that I would find a way through. Matthew again stepped in and said, "You should do this work. You're a natural." When Tom was coaching me, he laughed that I had birthed my own medicine man. So I began exploring that possibility. After all, I did want to create more income. I had 20 years experience of sitting with laboring women who were experiencing very altered states. So I studied psychedelics to get CEUs to reactivate my RN license. Who knew that LSD lasted 12 hours? It's like, who has time for that? So, when that was done, I traveled to Colorado to take a training for licensed professionals at Prati, Psychedelic Research and Training Institute. And then I waited. I finished my training in May and did not have a client until December. I spoke openly about my experience and interest in psychedelic medicine. I attended Zoom lectures. I read extensively about ketamine and other medicines, but no clients. We were advised in training to not get ahead of the medicine. It felt like the admonition to wait on the Lord. And I continue to hold that adage today as a way of being with this work. You can't force change, but with patience and continued cultivation of your practice, the fruits can and will come. As I was preparing for this presentation, I found a drawing that I had made on the back of a minister's report, January 9, 2015, to try and visualize and internalize the principles of the five principles of unity. You know, we're trying to understand how these work. And I believe that I was stuck in moving from prayer and meditation to transformation. And the ketamine journey transported me to transformation. And then the actions that I took flowed naturally from there. So, what is ketamine? It's a prescription medication that has been around for over 50 years. It's considered a necessary medicine by the World Health Organization. It must be stocked in emergency rooms and urgent care clinics. It has an impeccable safety record when it's used appropriately, partly because it does not depress respirations. It is so safe, it is used in pediatric and veterinary medicine, or on the battlefield as a buddy drug, and most commonly as an induction to anesthesia. This new use in mental health is considered a novel approach, and it's being researched broadly in that context. It seems to create neuroplasticity and open the brain to an increased learning capacity for a period of time. It allows the recipient to rewire what's called the default mode network. It's the area of our brain that responds in pattern ways that we may have outgrown. Significantly, it seems to increase the capacity to experience and express love. I thought of Rumi, the path of love is not a subtle argument. The door there is devastation. I was devastated by the loss of my financial resources, and my DMN, demon, as what was dubbed by a cohort at Prati, was devastated by my ingestion of ketamine. So, part 3, who I am, my life now. Regarding my practice as a ketamine facilitator, I've supported over 100 journeys for people with various issues, from exploring explosive anger reactions, intractable or dysfunctional grief, nail biting that progressed to cuticle biting, acute anxiety to the point of being unable to eat, lifelong depression, alcohol use disorder, and life enhancement intentions. I've had the privilege of witnessing profound and heartening changes in their lives, and I want to salute their courage and express my gratitude for their trust in me as a facilitator. I set up a website. My oldest son, Conroy, who took over the rug business that Roger started and has expertise in managing a very complicated website, he helped me set up what he called a digital business card. He said, "That's all you need, Mom." It's ketaminework.com. Last November, I was hired by Naropa University to be part of a 40-person medical team to train 120 doctors, nurse practitioners, nurses, marriage and family therapists, and clergy to experience ketamine as medicine. Wow. Thanks. I've continued to educate myself by taking another training at Prati on the use of ketamine for end of life and existential distress. I was recently hired by a clinic in Petaluma to be part of the medical staff for their 2-person model to administer ketamine. And last Monday, I met with a neighbor who's a therapist and ketamine guide and would like my help in setting up a local clinic. Can you imagine my surprise at having a neighbor move in who's also a ketamine guide? I mean, like, what are the chances? So this part of my life feels full and interesting, and I'm passionate about this medicine's ability to create connection to this field of love, the very essence of who we are. This is why I have called it an entheogen, God within, rather than a psychedelic mind manifesting. There are profound behavioral and psychological changes that can and do occur, but it's the spiritual changes that most interest me and are aligned with our vision statement, a world spiritually awakened and transformed through experiencing our divine potential. It's my mission to be wholeheartedly dedicated to spiritual growth, my own and others, and to be in service to that growth. And working with this medicine in a sacred way is for me a path to that. But there's more. My personal life has expanded. As many of you know, last May, Bernie Carter and I began practicing dating. So he's, as you know him, the widower of Melanie Carter, who's a dear friend and beloved Unity member. So we knew each other somewhat. In the development of our practice, moving from dating, relationship, and engagement, we're all romantics at heart. So he purchased half of my home, and this allowed me to pay off the mortgage, and it completely restored my financial loss. As a therapist, he's become my fellow student at CIIS and companion in pursuing psychedelic medicine. Engaging in a committed and loving relationship is something that I never anticipated after 17 years of living and managing my life as a single person. And I'm curious if this is a direct response to the transformation of my default mode network. Tom shared another iteration of the law of three: thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. And I think the thesis I had for my life was, I'm fine alone. I don't need a partner. The antithesis in the form of my loss was, you need help. And the synthesis seems to be that I can be independent while being in a relationship. and having fun doing it. So my love affair with Tibetan Buddhism continues, partly as a response to the embodiment of a fierce compassion dakini during my last training at Prati. And for the first time in 6 years at Taramandala, which is the spiritual community from my Tibetan teacher, there was a training in this practice. So I took that training, and each Thursday morning I sit with practitioners from around the world. We gather on Zoom. And the practice is to bring the wisdom and the compassion of the enlightened feminine into our world, which, as we know, so desperately needs this balance. So get ready. This is her image, Siamuka. So she's a lion-headed dakini. She's the queen of the dakinis. So I'm humbled and grateful to all my teachers and the support and direction that I received to share my story with you, including this excerpt from a talk Jack Kornfield gave last November. We know that we're not separate. You know it, especially when you're on the mountaintop looking down after some amazing hike, or listening to a piece of music that transports you beyond the small sense of self. You know it when you make love or take psychedelics, or have some profound meditation or dance until you disappear. We all know it. So mostly I'm grateful to you, my beloved community, knowing that our practice of diversity and inclusion will welcome the path I'm on. Each of us has a story. Thank you for letting me share mine with you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And in true Buddhist fashion, let's dedicate the merit of this time together and any metta, universal loving kindness that's been generated to be sent to all those who need it without one exception. So in our affirmations today, and let's just say them together. I am love. I am patience. I am curious. So, thank you.
Wow, amazing. Well, so as Pamella said, she sent me a copy of her talk, and I got inspired and wrote the song for her. It's called The Journey. When everyone says no, I hold to my yes. As others call for more, I look for less. To live my life in quiet truth, to always do what's mine to do, and know in grace that I am fully blessed. Now is the moment to find my brave. I'm not a victim, I won't be ashamed. Everything that comes will change. There is no room for guilt or blame. With my faith and courage, I am safe. I give no power to thoughts of doubt. I trust and know that God will work it out, work it out. I refuse the fear that tries to hold me back. I find my strength and disregard the lack. To step out now with joy and pride, to show the wisdom that's inside, moving on and never turning back. To step out now with joy and pride, to show the wisdom that's inside, moving on and never turning back.
Wow, thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Jeremy. I know you write albums, but that is wonderful. And I wanted to especially thank Pamella. I know as worship assistant, we're supposed to move things along here, but I'm going to take 2 minutes and just reflect on a really special 17-year friendship with Pamella. She was in this room with me when I celebrated my 50th birthday, and then reciprocated, and when she turned 70, I remember she wore something that looked like LeMay and went down, Larkspur to sweat her prayers, and it was pure Pamella. And my wedding, which, being such a late bloomer, I held in Kilkenny, Ireland, and she and Elizabeth Drew, they were over there. So I feel like she's been in and out. But all of you here know Pamella, and I feel a couple images stand out to me, and one is she with Roger and Conroy on Telegraph Avenue in Berkeley. And I feel like, when I met her, that, there was enough of an age difference, and I lived in Berkeley. I lived 2 blocks from that place for 10 years. And, what she talked about today, and, some of my own little shamanic experiences for 2 years, it really helped me understand the integration that I think is even lacking in this country. There's such a culture war, and there's such a divide between, people who are Berkeley and people who are Ohio. And I think, she has pulled us together, and I think of her kitchen and the sense of humor there, and it infuses Pamella's that humor. And I think, the other image is the Gurdjieff. I think that maybe it was just touched on briefly, but it was kind of a spiritual bondage as much as it was a practice. And I feel, I came from a very Orthodox church, and we immediately connected on that. But I think all of you in here, some of you come from low God or no God or too much God or whatever it was. But I think we walk into this room really wanting what spirituality promises. And that is, love and a sense of, just like her connection now, independence and interdependence, with the divine. And I felt, her emergence, not just from this financial, but from the many tribulations, is the journey you sung about so nicely. And I think that really is what we're all here for, and we celebrate you. And my last, I said 2 minutes and now it's 3, but my last thought is just how much this community is indebted to you. And I want to say this to you, but on the behalf of so many of you who volunteer time after time. She snagged me onto the board here, and I eventually became the chair of the board. But this was Pamella's, subtle iron fist and velvet glove recruitment. And she was on the facilities committee, and if you've ever seen the roof and that, and she knows properties. And she's a donor, and she was a prayer chaplain. We were together for 8 years, and she's a wonderful person who's always been part of this. I mean, Pamella, I think just for this moment of merit and this moment of metta, I think you embody the fabric of who we are, and I just wanted to call that out. So thank you. Damn, I'm long-winded. But anyway, and for those of you online, some of you might be new. This is really what is meant by family here. 17 years, life is just an eye blink, and this is a place where we, stare for a little while. So the next slide is Getting Real with Race. That's another really valued member of our community, Cindy Acker. There is no talk today, and next Sunday, the 16th will be the last discussion of Getting Real with Race. And what a timely topic. It meant something in the last administration, it means something now, and I think it's really a wonderful conversation. And wherever you are, Cindy, so many thanks for everything you've done. Someone said that. Oh my God, how symbolic. And thank you, Cindy. So speaking of all these great community members, this is a time of giving and receiving, and we all do that in our way. And there's lots of ways to give here. We have the online app, and right now the ushers are going to have the baskets, and I always feel this is a good time to drop something in there, whatever it is. And again, we give of our beauty and time, and of our resources, our treasure, our talent. So you can use the app. There's the QR code for live streaming, and of course we have the good old-fashioned envelope in the back of the seats if you want to use that, or if you're somewhere you can mail it to 600 Palm Drive where we are today. And again, there's the spiritual connection card, and those are, as we said earlier, just a great way to take something that might be on your heart, on your mind, put it in writing, and have it seen, spoken to, and held in prayer for some time. So let's do our offering affirmation together. I am the power of abundance, giving and receiving gratefully. Okay, so the ushers will come now, and another musical inspiration. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy the joy each breath. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Sing it with me. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things.
Thank you again, Caroline, and also a shout out to you. I mean, I come here with all this stuff prepared. She helps organize this whole service and put this one together and has a lot on her heart and mind. Thank you. And I wanted to add in my enthusiasm for celebrating Pamella, I forgot to the most important slide, which is there's a discussion circle afterwards. So we do this here after the service, outside. We can continue the conversation, and so that'll be in the courtyard 15 minutes after the service ends. You can, check in with her, talk a little bit about what's really an amazing journey, an amazing person. So that's next. So we have some upcoming speakers, our beloved Dr. Cindy Acker, and then also we had this guest before, Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett. So they're coming, and that's all, again, in the calendar, so March 16th and March 30th. So there's going to be a lot of good Lent discussions and a lot of timely topics. So please stay tuned if you're online, and please come. Affirmative prayer for personal practice will be a virtual class, and that will be starting on March 12th. That's this upcoming Wednesday and running through the beginning of April. And that's really just, again, our roots here, our foundation is prayer, and it's something that blossoms into action. And what a great way to really get more inspiration and more support in that practice of our lives. And then on the 23rd, that's in 2 Sundays, we have our annual meeting here. And again, as an active faith in action type of community, this is a chance for us to practice our democracy as a community and to practice our connection. And what's great is if you can register, you can do that online. It's good to have a quorum. It's a place to, hear and be heard and help, with the direction of where we're, as this community is going. We all knew and loved John Slater. There will be a memorial service for him on April 6th. And also, if you'd like to donate, we're dedicating a bench to him. So the installation of that bench in the garden, he was our gardener, is something, if you would like to contribute, there's a QR code, or this can always be done through the app online. Will our chaplains please rise? So these prayer angels are always here, and they're, again, a big part of who we are, our identity, and they are holding us in prayer. And if you want to approach one of them after the service, their prayers are held in confidence and loving kindness. And as always, for your service, chaplains, thank you so much. Okay, can we get the youth and family? Okay. Yeah, so we say our blessing then. Yeah, let's do it. These are our beautiful people, our future. You are the divine expression of divine light. We love you exactly the way you are. And let's say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. And let's sing our community song.
For our closing song today, we're experimenting. We have gone back to I'm So Grateful, but this is one we might want to bring in, and some of you already know it, and let's see if we know it well enough that it might work for us. God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of every sky. God, you are every mountain. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. I'm glad some of you are singing it with me. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every starshine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I do, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe. There we are. And your perfect love created me. One last time. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see and do and know, everything I know. Thank you all. You're so wonderful. And everyone have a great Sunday. Let's go out in the courtyard for hospitality, and in 15 minutes the connection with Circle with Pamella will start. Blessings.